Hi guys, today we'll be doing some deadlifts, the king of all exercises. Why? Because it has the biggest return on investment. Works out the whole body from head to toe, from your back, legs, core, everything, you name it. Let's get into it. So when you're setting up for a deadlift, the main thing to think about is starting from the ground up. So foot position is more important than where your hands are gonna go. So first things first, you want the bar to be mid-foot. The further forward the bar is, the more you have to use your back. Bar here, feet on the inside, arms straight down, grip the bar. We're gonna drop our hips a little bit, chest up, brace, and push the floor away from you. And control it down. First of all, I like to use my hands as much as I can. What I mean by that is, since I was 18, 19, I used to wear gloves. And then I just shifted from that because I realized actually the gloves are keeping my hand moist. So I was still getting calluses even with gloves. So which means they were not helping. But since I started using chalk, I'm a big fan of chalk. It just helped kind of condition my hands more. And when it comes to deadlifts, I always start with both overhand to a certain point, and then when my grip starts to give out, then I'll change it up to doing split. So that's usually probably on the next set when I have 4 plates on each side. And then after that, then we'll introduce chalk when I have 5 plates on each side. So it's like every bit of an advantage. I only add it when I actually need it. It's not just from the very beginning. So the foot positioning works in line with my shoulders. My feet cannot be in the way. So if I go here, now I have to go hold the weight here, and my knees are gonna cave in as I'm about to lift, which means it's no longer energy efficient lifting the weight. So, because I have to cave out and then come up, and then that's why you end up having extra strain in like your joints and stuff. So I was trying to stay narrow, with my toes slightly out. So the strongest position for your spine is when it's rigid. What that means is a soft spine is a dangerous spine when it comes to lifting, because the part of your spine that moves when you're lifting is the exit point, so which means that's the part where you're most likely to pick up an injury. So when you're bracing, the whole idea, you have to think of it bracing in 2 ways. So that you're bracing here, but there's no space because of your organs and everything else in there. And then you're bracing in your lungs, your thoracic cavity. So when you push out here, that's 1, and then you can expand this and hold your breath. That's 2. So that position, I have to hold that position from the bottom all the way up. So imagine someone's gonna punch in your stomach and you have to tense and you have to hold that position until you get to the top. And then on your way down, you still have to brace and then you bring it down. If I try and lift with my shoulders here, naturally my spine is gonna round. If I engage my back, so imagine you're squeezing a tennis ball in your armpits. So it's like I'm pulling my armpits back. There. Instead of shrugging, there. And I need to stay within that the whole time, from the top to the bottom. And I never allow my shoulders to move forward at all. We'll start with the neck first. The reason why most people do that with their neck is because they're trying to look at themselves in the mirror. Whereas here, clearly, we're not trying to do that because my back is against the mirror because I don't care about the mirror. If I'm lifting and I look at myself in the mirror, my head goes here, strain my neck, and if I go into hyperextension, I'm here, but my back is actually what's carrying the weight from the side because my hips are still behind. In theory, you feel as if this is the way of doing deadlift. However, your back is screaming. So what you want to do, you want to finish tall and strong right here. No here, right there. Squeezing your lats, bar right here, hips underneath your shoulders. That's your end point. If you're doing deadlifts, the question is, why? Or what does that exercise work on? Does it isolate a specific muscle? No, it's a whole body. So doing high repetitions does not make any sense to me. Because the whole point of a deadlift is to lift moderate to heavy with good form. That's taxing enough on your body, which means you don't need to actually do 10 repetitions. By the time you get to, if you do 2 to 3 reps properly, you will be out of breath. If it's heavy enough, yeah. Unless you work in different variations and stuff like that. But like conventional deadlift, which is what we're doing today, you don't grow a particular muscle group. So therefore doing high volume does not make any sense to me, because the likelihood of you actually fatiguing your erector muscles, the muscles that hold the spine and everything else, the more repetitions you do, the more that gets tired, and then the more you get the back rounding. So if you're lifting heavy for 2 to 3 reps, that's sufficient for you to get the most work per exercise. I'll keep him probably, I'll say maybe 4 minutes, around 3 to 4 minutes. And I'm looking to do more work at the heaviest I can lift on the day, if that makes any sense. So like so far, this is not my working set. I'm getting to the heaviest I can. And then when I get there, then the question is there a 2 rep day? Is there 2 sets on that weight? Is there extra weight today? Is there a personal best type of day? That's when I figure that out. But this is like the journey to get to that point. I don't just rush in. That was okay. Grip a bit sweaty, but sorry. Time to do some chalk. Especially, I mean, when you're looking at like strength training, the main priority is like maximum recovery. So not just your cardiovascular system or your muscle, in terms of muscle endurance, but you're also talking in terms of your nervous system recovering. So you might feel like now, I might feel, okay, I'm not out of breath, I'm ready to go. However, my nervous system is still trying to recover. So I need to purposely extend that rest period. Upon the most common test is what? Can you touch your toes? Yes, I can. Well, I mean, my mobility is quite good, and the best way to put it is, if you understand that bones move, joints feel, and muscles react. So that means if a muscle is tight, it's tied to protect a joint. So which means if the joint is not stable when you make a certain movement, that's what you need to correct. And then the muscles will relax. So if your hamstrings are always tight, it's not your hamstrings. Your hamstrings are actually overcompensating to save everything else. So therefore they'll remain tight to restrict the amount of movement that your hips go through and maybe your knee extends and stuff like that. That was okay. That was okay. The purpose of the belt is not to protect your back, i.e. to support your back. The purpose of the belt is to encourage you to increase your intra-abdominal pressure. So the belt is reminding you to push out, otherwise it will squeeze you to death. Well, not to death, but you know. Posture correction, driving, resting metabolic rate, cardiovascular training. Believe it or not, it takes a lot out of you to just do heavy deadlifts. Strength training, rehab, prehab, power training. If you want to improve your posterior chain, hamstring flexibility, lumbar stability.